I've made rocket stoves out of a Freon tank, well casing pipe, a propane tank, and I've never made one out of the simplest and most basic components you're likely to find sitting around your home. And today I am. Here's what I got. 2 metal coffee cans. I've cut the end out of one of them. I left the end on the other. 2 family-size soup cans. I've cut the end out of one of them. Left the end on the other. 2, what these were the mandarin oranges, and I've cut the ends out of both of them. And here's a disclaimer. All these edges are sharp. Ask me how I know. Be careful. Here are the tools I'm going to use. I'm going to try to keep it simple. I'm going to try to use tools that the average homeowner would have just to repair things around your house. Regular drill, a pair of snips, Phillips screwdriver, a drill bit slightly smaller than the half dozen or so screws I'm going to be using. These screws are, let's see, were they number 6, half-inch number 6 pan heads. And I'm probably going to use maybe less than a dozen. I don't have a real plan in my head. We're going to make this thing together, so I'm going to shut this off and make some marks on my cans and show you where I'm going to cut them. Okay, first let me, in the interest of glasnost, I used my Dremel with a cutoff tool. I did try my snips, but they were really distorting the metal. So it's possible to do with snips, but it's way easier if you use a Dremel. Hold on, I'm going to zoom this out just a little bit, I think. Well, what I did was cut 4 equal tabs. I measured the circumference of this, divided it by 8, and I used that measurement to mark 8 segments around here, and I cut out every other one. I'm going to save what I cut out because I'm not sure how I'm going to make this. This is just a play it by ear kind of thing. So you're going to be as surprised as I am at the end of this, how this comes out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the top rim of this off. I'm going to use my Dremel, and the reason I'm going to do that is because I want this to fit over nice and smooth. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this off right now with my Dremel. A Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel. I'm telling you, if you don't have one, you gotta think about getting one. These Dremels come in so handy for so many different projects. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, I'll bring you up to speed on what I got done so far. I've got a hole cut in the side of this, the size of my horizontal cans. And the ones I'm using for my horizontal cans are the 2 smaller mandarin orange cans. My vertical pipe that I'm going to be using for the vertical chamber, I've got a hole cut in that the size of the mandarin orange can. And here's what I've done. I've sort of angled it to fit in there, and that tab right here that I left, I'm just going to screw there just to hold this together. Once this gets inside the can, I'm pretty sure it's going to hold together pretty good. And the can that I'm going to add to this, I've measured the diameter, circumference, and divided it by 8. And it doesn't matter what the measurements are, you can do your own math, because every can is going to be a little, your cans that you decide to use might not be the same as mine, and I don't want to give you measurements that won't work on your can. So what I did was just make 8 segments around here and cut every other tab out. And this is what I'm left with. And I did that on the horizontal one. I did that on the vertical chamber. And I'm going to do that. Oh, I already did it. I'm ahead of myself here. And I did it on that. Same way. This will go down over that, get screwed together. This will go in here, get screwed together. And the vertical chamber will get screwed together too. I'm going to do that, put everything together, and then show you what I got. I just wanted to show you that I cut all these little slits around the upper edge. I only went down about a ½ inch, and that's so this lip will fit inside the can that I'm going to slide over it without bending this or distorting it. I've got this built and screwed together, and what I did was use the screws, and then when I got it assembled, take the screws out and cut them down to about 1/4 inch and reinsert them. You can just cut them with a pair of snips or your Dremel tool. And now I'm fixing to assemble the biggest part of the stove here. Okay, I can't remember what I showed you because it's been a few minutes since I went in and got some iced tea. Anyway, I got the sections assembled and screwed together, and I've cut the screws off, about 1/4 inch long. I saved the top of one of them, and it's going to fit, when this goes down inside of it, it's going to fit over it like that. And don't have any vermiculite. I got to go get some vermiculite, but what I'm going to do now is put this in here, assemble it, and then screw the last piece on the end of it. You can't screw it together until after you get it in here and it comes out that hole, and then I can screw this on. Otherwise it would be too long to get in there. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, I don't have it held together yet, but I'm just holding it together by hand so you can have a look at it. That's what I got so far. I do not have the vermiculite to go inside of it yet, but I'll get it tonight, and I'm going to cook on this tomorrow. I might cook some burgers or something. I'll do a boiling test and cook some burgers. And this could have been done with snips. It would have taken me, this stove took me probably 30 minutes to actually do. And I used about 12 screws. This Dremel made it so much easier to do, and you can be more accurate with your cuts. It just looks a little nicer, the end product. But it could be done with a pair of snips. I've seen it done. Other people have done it. If you want to screw it together, there's just no substitute for a drill. Maybe a scratch awl or something like that, or punch. But you know, if you don't have a drill, you really need one. And I suggest you get a Dremel. If you're a person who repairs things around the house, you probably got one. Anyway, I'm going to get some vermiculite and put this all together, hit it with some black spray paint, and tomorrow I'm going to cook on it. I think I may have got a little ahead of myself here. I just come back from Walmart, and I bought this stuff called Metal Patch and Fill. Comes in a tube. Actually, I bought this at Ace Hardware. And it's high temperature sealant. And I put it, can you see the bead of sealant I put around there? And that'll hold that vermiculite in there. Actually, I got to dump some of that out. But let me back it out a little bit. I put the lid on. I got it filled up with vermiculite. Let me show you that bag of stuff. I bought this at Walmart too. It's actually perlite, which you can use either vermiculite or perlite in these things. I've got this screwed on. What do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And now I've cut a bunch of slits around the pipe that was sticking up above the top here. And I'm going to bend them all over flat, all the way around.